Dr. Josephine G. Figueroa, Education Program Supervisor in TLE from the Division of Angeles City. Welcome to this webinar on the foundation of self-improvement for a better tomorrow. This will help you to capacitate in preparation of your career. This is simply the process of learning new things and building new skills that will help ones increase the chances of success and achieving goals and manifesting dreams. Our objectives for this webinar, we have explained the principles of self-improvement. Second is to enlighten the development of teachable attitude. Third is to discuss the roles of the growth development. And last, number 4, is to express the experiences in growing career. What will it take for me to improve? Growth must be intentional. Nobody improves by accident. The point Robert Browning wrote, "Why stay on earth except to grow?" Just about anyone would agree growing is a good thing. But relatively, few people dedicate themselves to the process. Why? Because it requires change. The most people are reluctant to change. The truth is that without change, growth is impossible. Author Gail Zishi asserted, if we don't change, we don't grow. We are not really living. Growth demands temporary surrender of security. It may mean giving up of familiar but limiting the pattern save but unrewarding work, values no longer believed in, relationships that have lost their meaning. As Dovsky put it, taking a new step, uttering a new word, is the most people fear most. The real fear should be the opposite, of course. I think of anything worse than living a stagnant life, devoid of change and improvement. Growth is a choice. If you don't choose to grow, then you will not experience growth. Most people fight against change, especially when it affects them personally. As novelist Leo Tolstoy said, everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. The ironic thing is change is inevitable. Everybody has to deal with it. On the other hand, growth is optional. You can choose to grow or fight it. But know these people unwilling to grow will never reach their potential. In one of the books by Hendricks asked the question, have you changed lately? And last week, let's say, a month, last year, can be very specific. He known how people tend to get a rut when it comes to growth and change. Growth is a choice, a decision that can really make a difference in person's life. Most people don't realize that unsuccessful people do not suffer substantially in their abilities. They vary in their desires to reach their potential and commitment to personal growth. Now we will discuss the principles for self-improvement. Making change from being occasional learner to becoming someone dedicated person goes against the grain of the way most people live. If you ask 100 people, how many books have you read? How many books have you read in their own since they have graduated? In high school, college, or doctoral? I bet only a handful would say they have read more than 1 or 2 books. If you ask how many of you listen to the audio lessons voluntarily and attend the conferences or seminars to grow personally, there would only even fewer people who will answer this. Most people celebrate when they receive their diplomas or degrees that they will have to celebrate for themselves. Thank goodness that's over. Just let me have this a good higher average. If you want to be successful, you want to keep growing. As someone who has dedicated to his life to personal growth and development, I'd like to help you keep to lead to becoming a dedicated self-developer. It's the way you need to go if you want to reach your potential. Besides that, it has another specific or benefit. It brings contentment. The happiest people I know are growing every day. Take a look at the following 8 principles that we will be discussing. This will help you to develop a person dedicated to personal growth. First principle is choose a life for growth. It is said when the Spanish composer cellist Pablo Casals was in the final years of life, a young reporter asked him, "Mr. Casals, you are 95 years old and the greatest cellist that ever lived. Why do you still practice 6 hours a day?" What Casals answered? "Because I think of making progress." That's the kind of dedication of continual growth that you should have. Because we believe that while you still live, you still have the opportunity to learn. You never stop learning in everything that you do. People who have reached their potential, no matter what their position or background, think in terms of improvement. If you think you can hold on your ground and still make success journey, are mistaken. You need to have an attitude that like General George Patton. It's said that he told his troops, "There is one thing I want you to remember. I don't want you to get messages saying you are holding your position. We are advancing constantly." Patton's motto was, "Always take an offensive, never dig in." The only way to improve the quality of life is to improve yourself. And you can do that. You just have to choose yourself to grow. If you want to grow your organization, you must grow a leader. And you cannot grow a leader, and you could not grow as a leader if you always refuse to learn. If you choose not to learn. If you choose not to grow. If you want to have a better children, you must become a better person. If you want others to treat you more kindly, You must develop better people skills. There is no sure way to make other people in your environment improve. The only thing you truly have the ability is to improve yourself. So always choose a life for growth. Second principle is start growing today. When are you going to grow? Tomorrow? Next year? It's today. Start growing today. The mere fact that you have attended this webinar because you want to grow, right? So, start growing today. Napoleon Hill said, "It's not what you are going to do, but what you are going to do now that counts." Many unsuccessful people have what they call someday sickness. Someday, I'll become teacher 3. Someday, I'll become a master teacher. Someday, I'll become a principal. Someday, I'll become a supervisor. Someday, I'll become ESDS, SDS, assistant director, regional director, or even a secretary. Someday. That's sickness and start growing today. Their motto is one of these days. But according to Old English proverb says, one of these days means none of these days. So it's today, not tomorrow, not someday. The best way to ensure success is to start growing today. And I assure you, because you are here, because you want to grow. Right? No matter where you are, maybe starting from, don't be discouraged. Everyone who got where he started, where he was. Why do we need to determine to start growing? So here are the several reasons in determining to start growing. The first one is growth is not automatic. Even plants will not grow automatically if you are not going to nurture. Your children will not grow a better children if you are not going to nurture with love. You will not grow automatically if you are not going to nurture yourself. If you are not going to advance yourself. According to the book of John Maxwell entitled Breakthrough Parenting, he mentioned that he can be only young only once. He can be young only once. And that is right. And I agree with this. You just have to be young once. You can never go back. So, but you can always be immature indefinitely. Even you are growing physically, you can always be immature. That's because growth is not automatic. Just because you grow older doesn't mean you keep growing. There are some people who are growing older, but they are not growing mentally, professionally. And that's how it is some creatures like Christians. As crab or a lobster ages, it grows and it has to shed its shell. But that's not the trend for people. We are not Christians. We are not crab. We are not lobsters. We are not shrimp. The road to the next level is uphill. It takes effort to keep growing. The sooner you start, the closer to reaching your potential you will be. Growth today will provide a better tomorrow. Because you could not reap sown. You could not reap sown what you have sown. Growing is not an overnight dream. It takes time. Everything you do today builds on what you have did yesterday. And altogether, things determine what will happen tomorrow. That's especially true in regard to this insight. Man's mind, once stretched by new ideas, never regains its original dimension. Growth today is an investment for tomorrow. And those who are studying in masteral, in doctoral, we can relate this one. Okay? Growth today will provide us a better tomorrow. And this is a promise to us. And that's why you are here. Because you want to have a better tomorrow. Third, growth is responsibility. When you were a small child, your parents were responsible for you, even for your growth and education. But as an adult, you bear responsibility entirely. If you don't make growth your responsibility, it will never happen. There is no time like right now to get started. Recognize the importance that the personal growth plays success, and commit yourself to developing your potential. When you were in college, you were responsible by your parents, or some of you here even had self-supported. You have supported yourself to send yourself to college. And now, when you are done, when you have graduated, it's now your responsibility to take a higher level. To enroll yourself in masteral, to enroll yourself in doctoral, to attend yourself in webinar like this. It's your responsibility. Do not ask everything coming from the government. You have to support yourself. You have to capacitate yourself. It's your main responsibility for yourself. So growth is your responsibility, not a responsibility of your principal. Yes, they have their key area of responsibilities to help the teachers to grow professionally. But not everything is given. And it is your responsibility for you to be capacitated. Okay? So, third principle in self-improvement is focus on self-development, not self-fulfillment. There has been change in focus over 30 years in the personal growth. Beginning in the late 60s and early 70s, people began talking about finding themselves, meaning that they are searching for a way of becoming self-fulfilled. It's like making happiness a goal, or because of self-fulfillment is about feeling good. But self-development is different. Sure, much of the time, it will help you make good or feel good. But that's byproduct, not a goal. Self-development is higher calling. It's the development of potential so that you can attain the purpose for which you can attain that were created. There are times that's fulfilling, but other times it's not. But no matter how it makes you feel, self-development always has one effect. It draws you toward your destiny. Rabbi Samuel and Silver taught this. The greatest of all miracles is that we need to be tomorrow what we are today. But we can improve it if we use your potential that were implanted to us by God. So, make use whatever you have. Whatever your potentials, use it. Otherwise, it will be rusted. So whatever potentials that were given to us, you have to harness it in order that you have to develop yourself. Don't just look for every time that you attend seminar because it's your self-fulfillment, but think about more on self-development. And this will bring you a better result. So next, number 4, never stay focused with the current accomplishment. Meaning, do not be satisfied of what you are today. According to Rick Warren, the greatest enemy of tomorrow's success is today's success. There are some people who are already successful today who do not like to dream anymore because they are already satisfied of their position. But this is not all about the foundation of leadership for a better tomorrow. Never stay satisfied with the current accomplishment. And he is right of this by Rick Warren. Thinking that you have arrived when you have accomplished a goal has the same effect as believing you know it all. It takes away your desire to learn. It's another characteristic of destination disease. But successful people don't sit back and rest on their laurels. They know that wins like losses are temporary. And they have to keep growing if they want to continue being successful. Charles Handy remarked, "It is one of the paradoxes of success, the things and ways which got under there are seldom those things that keep you there." No matter how successful you are today, don't get complacent. Stay hungry. Stay hungry for success. A winner knows how much he still has to learn, even when he is considered as an expert by others. The loser wants to be considered as an expert by others before he learned enough to know the things or little but he knows. Don't settle into a comfort zone. Don't let success go onto your head. Enjoy your success briefly and then more on greater growth. So meaning, do not be comforted on your comfort zone. Get out and look for a greater growth. So do not be satisfied of what you are today. So always look for a better tomorrow. So number 5, principle in self-improvement is be a continual learner. How do you continue your learning? Just like what I have said a while ago, while you are still living, you continue to learn. And everything that you do, you have to learn. You have to reflect. And the product of your reflections are your learnings. Attending trainings, one way of continual learning. Reading, one way of continual learning. listening, anything that you do, you always have to get learning. So be a continual learning. Do not be stagnant of what you have now. Okay? So, number 6, principle in self-improvement is develop a plan for growth. We have this saying, a person, or if you are planning to fail, or if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. Okay? So you always have to develop a plan for growth. A key to life continual learning and self-improvement lies in developing a self-growth and following through with it. I recommend a plan. According to John Maxwell, he recommends a plan that requires an hour a day, 5 days a week. The pattern usually statement by Earl Nightingale, which says, if a person will spend 1 hour a day in the same subject for 5 years, a person will be an expert on that subject. Isn't that incredible promise? It shows how far we are capable of going when we have to discipline and make and you have to discipline to make growth in your daily practice. John Maxwell recommend the following growth plan to all of you participants. First, on Monday. This is just a sample. Monday, spend an hour with a devotional to develop your spiritual life. Of course, we always have to put God at the center of our life. We always have to put God as our priority. On Tuesday, spend an hour listening to leadership podcast or lesson audio. Wednesday, spend an hour filing quotes and reflecting the content on Tuesday's tape. Thursday, spend an hour reading a book on leadership. Friday, spend half hour reading a book and other half filing reflection. As you develop your plan for growth, start by identifying the 5 areas in which you desire to grow. Then look at the useful materials like books, magazines, audio tapes, videos, and incorporate them in your plan. He also recommends that if you want to make a goal to read 12 books and listen 52 tapes in each year. Exactly how you get about doesn't matter. What matters most, you do it daily, and it will become a habit for you. The way you're more likely to follow through and get it done if you do it particularly put it off and try to catch up. So it is so important that if you want to become a successful person, you have to develop a plan for growth. I myself, when I was starting, I also have even a target. I have a plan. So I even have a plan at the age of like this. I will be master teacher. At the age of like this, I will have to finish my MA, doctoral, and so on. So everything should be in plan. Number 7 is pay the price. Be willing to pay the price. Behind every great achievement is the story of education, training, practice, discipline, and sacrifice. You have to be willing to pay the price. Maybe the price is pursuing one single activity while putting everything else that you'll hold in life. Maybe it's investing all of your own personal wealth or savings. Maybe the willingness to walk away from safety of your current situation. But though many things are typically required to reach the successful outcome, the willingness that you have required adds the extra dimensions to the mix and helps the perseverance in the face of the overwhelming challenges, setbacks, pain, and even personal injury. Part of paying the price is the willingness to do whatever it takes to get the job done. It comes from a declaration that you are going to get done no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, no matter what comes up. It's done deal. You are responsible of the results you intend. No excuse, just the world-class performance and outstanding result that can be counted on. Be willing to pay the price. If you opted to choose to become a supervisor, then be willing to pay the price. You have to surrender some of the things that you used to hold on. If you are vying for a chief position, be willing to pay the price. You even have to sacrifice your family. You even have to sacrifice some of the things that you used to do. So those are the price. And to become a successful, be willing to pay the price. So these are the principles, the 7 principles of self-improvement. And number 8, the last principle, is find a way to apply what you learn. Again, find a way to apply what you learn. Jim Rohn urged, don't let your learning lead to knowledge. Let your learning lead to action. So whatever you have learned today, put it into practice. Just don't make a stuck knowledge. Put it into action. The bottom line when it comes to life doesn't begin to change as a result of what you are learning. You're experiencing of these problems. You are not giving your growth plans enough time and attention. You are focusing too much time on the wrong areas. You are not applying what you learn. Successful people develop positive daily habits that help them to grow and learn. According to John Maxwell, one of the things that I do make sure that I don't lose what I have learned in file. In my office, I do have more than 1,200 full of books, articles, and informations, and I have thousands of quotes. But I'll make it see to it to apply the information as soon as he learned it. How about you? What do you do on what you have learned? How do you apply it in your field? Do you just keep it for yourself? So, find ways how you are going to apply what you have learned. Ask yourself when you're attending seminar, where can I use it? When I'm going to use it? How can I use it? Who needs these ideas? Whom I'm going to share these ideas? So be willing to share what you have. Don't just keep it for yourself. Go and share. And let others grow. So this is the last principles for the self-improvement. For the part 2, we will be discussing on how can I grow in my career. First, be a better tomorrow than you are today. A turkey was chatting with a bull. I would like to be able to get to the top of the tree, sighed the turkey. But I haven't got the energy. Well, replied the bull, why don't you nibble on some of my droppings? They are packed with nutrients. The turkey picked a lump of dung and found that it actually gave him enough strength to reach the lowest branch of the tree. The next day, after eating some more dung, he reached on the second branch. Finally, after the fourth night, there he was proudly perched at the top of the tree. But he was promptly spotted by a hunter who shot him down out of the tree. The moral lesson of this story: you might get onto the top, but it won't keep you there. How growth helps you to lead up. Growth in leadership is mandatory, not an optional. So if you are a leader today, then it is a must for you to grow. Not tomorrow, but today. And I believe that you wanted to grow because the mere fact that you are present today, it's because you want to grow. If you fail to grow, it's not a matter of just staying where you are. We become stagnant and fall farther and farther behind. Growing as a leader requires we give up the things that are familiar to us, that take new steps and do things in new ways. Those actions that change is made of. The reward lies not what we get from growth, but what we become because out of our growth. Here are some daily habits that you can take as you grow being a leader. First, you have to develop a repertoire of skills. To become a leader, you must have to be a leader that you are capable of being. You need to constantly be mastering of new competencies instead of relying on skills that you already under your belt. Otherwise, your skills that you have known might no longer the skills that are needed today, especially that we are in pandemic. Growing leaders are constantly updating and expanding their skills and knowledge. So every now and then you have to abreast your knowledge so you won't be stagnant. So you will always be relevant to the needs of our society. Second is you have to learn through your experiences. As we know, that experience is the best teacher. So the more you experience, the more you know. That means that even the most difficult challenges at present, it's an opportunity to engage in that experience. learn the lessons it holds, and apply new challenge to whatever comes next. So, you can only say that you have learned from your experience if you will be able to apply it. If you could not apply it, if you could not translate it, therefore, you haven't learned in your experience. Next, number 3 is to challenge your comfort zone. How? It's tempting to lull yourself into always doing the same things in the same ways within the same people at the same time with the same result. But there's no room in that picture for stretching yourself to become better. Get comfortable being uncomfortable because that's how you grow. If you're always be staying in a comfortable place where you enjoyed most, then you will not learn. If you will always be working with the same people, you will not grow. So get up from your comfort zone. Never mind if you feel difficulty, because those difficult times will be your teaching, and that could be used in the future. So now, next one, number 4, is focus on the future by being present today. When you're stuck in the past, it can be hard to get unstuck. But when you are focused on the present, you know that everything you do today will affect the future. Growing leaders know for the future. Know the present is their foundation for your future. And that's why our topic is laying a foundation for a better tomorrow. So what you are doing today will affect on your future. So they keep on bar high. So you have to keep foundation. You have to build a strong foundation for your future. On the 5th one, in how you lead up, is you have to set the bar high. Most people wonder, how can I get there faster, quicker, in a shorter time? But leaders who are serious about their growth are always raising their bar for themselves. Not just for others, but for themselves. They keep the bar high and do everything they can to consistently reach it. Number 6, look within. When you first start in a position of leadership, you're more concerned with your external qualities. But as you grow in leadership, you discover that leading is an external quality. To lead outwardly, you must first learn to lead from within. It will be coming from within, not from outside. You have to learn first. You have to learn first how to lead from within. How can you lead others if you yourself do not know? If you yourself does not know how to lead? How can you be followed by others if you yourself does not know how to follow yourself? Okay. Next is you have to keep asking questions. Ask questions. Keep asking questions. Growing leaders are always asking questions. Many people believe that leadership is about knowing all the answers. But that's simply wrong. True leadership is about being inquisitive. When you stop asking, you must stop growing. Sabi nga natin, huwag mahiyang magtanong. Isa pang kasabihan, Di bali nang maging tanga sa isang minuto, wag lang maging tanga sa habang buhay. So keep asking, there's nothing wrong if you ask even to your subordinate. Not everything you know. So if something that you don't know, then ask. Next is leverage your weaknesses. It's easy to play your strength, but when you become better acquainted with your own weaknesses, then you have to learn to leverage them. You're positioning yourself to grow as a leader. Embrace your failures. All of us fall some point. It's getting up again that counts. Being able to weather failure and recover is a sign of growth and the resource of some of the most important lessons you will ever learn. No one of the successful leader never failed. All successful people, they have started with their failure because we learn from our mistake. So, it's a must that we have to learn from our mistake. Failures are our teachings. We never get learned if we don't encounter failures. So it's okay to fail. But what counts most is you learn how to stand. Work with a coach. The best way to grow as a leader is to have an external support. You could not work on your own. You should have to find people who are better than you, and this will serve as your coach. A coach can help you become better version of yourself by guiding you through the important decision, keeping you grounded in difficult times, helping you understand your purpose and goals. Most importantly, they can help you to grow faster from your success and failures. Who among of you here who do not have their coach? Behind our success, it's because we have our coaches. We have the people who are supporting us, especially in most difficult times. We have the people who give us advice. And these are our coaches. And every leader needs a coach. Learn from within. Growth is a great separator from those who succeed and those who don't. The better you are, the more people listen. Do you believe that? In your community, if you are a teacher, how do your people look up at you? Isn't it that when you are a teacher, especially when you already have the position, most of the people look up at you. Most of the people listen to you. Why? Because you are competent. Competency is the key to credibility. And credibility is the key of influencing others. If people respect you, they will listen to you. President Abraham Lincoln said, "I don't think much of man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday." By focusing on growth, you become wiser each day. So, if you want to grow and if you want your people to listen, you have to Address yourself by growing, and you become credible. And when you increase your credibility, you increase your influence. And when you have the influence, your people will listen at you. The better you are, the greater your value today. If you were to plant a fruit, if you were to plant a tree, it does not mean that you can harvest it tomorrow in the next month, but you can harvest it 5 years, 10 years. But you need to nurture. So as you nurture, the root grows. The roots grow deeper. And if it grows deeper, it can get more nutrients. And when the tree has enough nutrients, then it will become more productive. And it is when as a person, when you become more productive, you increase your value. So when you produce more, when you become better, the more you become, the greater your value. So, what you will do to become better? You should have to keep growing. You should have to be productive, be producing people who are leader, because as a leader, you have to influence. It's not only you will grow, but you as well as your organization must grow. Again, the better you are today, the greater the value. The better you are, the greater your value today. The better you are, the greater your potential for tomorrow. The ultimate goal is to be better today than yesterday. Because we already have our experiences. With a plan to become even better tomorrow. How do we stack up? It's a question we seem to constantly ask ourselves. Our brains want to know how we are measuring up compared with one else. Do we matter more than other people matter? Is our position more valuable than the other person's position? People can spend their entire lives trying to determine where they stack on proverbial totem pole of the human race. However, those who do will one day be sorely disappointed to find out that there was no ranking measurement against anyone else at all. There was only the assessment of their life measured up to their own personal potential. According to Bill Gates, don't compare yourself with anyone in this world. If you do so, you are just insulting yourself. So be at yourself. Never compare with anyone. Always be at yourself. Otherwise, according to Bill Gates, you are insulting of your own self. When you compare our old selves to someone else, we always have to rank ourselves as their superiors or inferiors so that other person, neither of those assessments will ever be factually accurate. Admittedly, a person can be better than someone else at what particular task, but doesn't qualify them as superior. Attempting gauge how you are going to do the comparison to someone else will never lead up to an accurate evaluation because no two people are ever exactly alike. We are all unique. Every individual is unique, so there is no point of comparison to other people. We have different strengths and weaknesses. So how then would it ever be fair assessment to hold ourselves and any other person to the exact same measuring stick? Let us discover the timeless advice that the world gets in their importance, that the world stick under importance than any other person. So then, do we aim for? So then what do we aim for? How to determine excellence? How do we become at our best? We start by redefining what we believe the best is. We start by recognizing that you being the best is something relating you and only you and no one else. It's about achieving your best. Rank solely against yourself on your own past performance and in your future potential. Some exercises that can help you to do this are the following. Look at your natural talents. What are your natural talents? You write them. You list them down. Then ask yourself, how can you further develop your talents and your abilities? How can you hone them? So, you should have to discover first your talents. Recognize them as your best. Every individual were given our talents, and it is our responsibility how we are going to hone our talents. So you can make at your best. You have to focus on what your strengths. So you will always be at your best. Second, make a list of your qualities that you don't like about ourselves. We would like to change. So each one of us, if we have our strength, if we have our talents, then we have also our weaknesses. We have also the qualities that we don't like that simply hinder to us to go to our success. What you're going to do is to write them down. How can you overcome your qualities, these qualities that you would like to enhance? You are judgmental, impatient, lazy. So how can you get over them? How can you overcome them? So you should have to know first yourself in order that you could have a greater potential for your tomorrow. Never compare yourself with anyone else. Recognize that every day are the result of every past decision that you have made up at that point. And tomorrow we are going to be direct result of the decisions that we are making today. So that if you are doing things today, that will make us a better tomorrow. And we continue that pattern day after day. And we are going always be in the process of becoming our best. One way to do this is to ask yourself. You ask yourself, are the decisions I am making today going to lead me? Am I better today than yesterday? And do I have goals in place to help improve me tomorrow? It is very significant for us as leaders to reflect. What I have done yesterday, what should I have done today that will help me to improve for a better tomorrow? Do you think what I am doing today will help me to lead for a better tomorrow? Try to reflect. Coming to recognize every gift and talent that we possess within us takes a lifetime. Because every day we learn, we improve. It's not just that you have to reflect today, every day. Every day. Many of them surfaces during times of trials and difficult experience. Many surface as we gain more wisdom. Let's face it, we will likely never know everything we are truly capable of until life forces us to prove it for ourselves. If we often said that if you continuously compete with others, you become bitter, not better. You will just become bitter. But if you continuously compete yourself, you become better. So there is no reason for you to compete with others, but you only have to compete with yourself. Compete with yourself, not with others, so that you will become better. You have to remind yourselves daily that our goal isn't to become a better than anyone else. Our ultimate goal is to become better today than we were yesterday. And we have to plan in our place to help us become even better tomorrow. So my references for this is Amy Reese Anderson. We have this, how we can become better tomorrow. Our goal is to become better today. Our goal is to become better today, but we even plan how to become better tomorrow. How can we become better tomorrow? According to Father Ben Franklin, by improving yourself, the world is made better. So, what does it mean? We have to improve ourselves so we can become better tomorrow. Do not be afraid of growing slowly. Meaning, you should not be hurried. If you have a new dream today, if you have a dream today, then don't think that you can get it tomorrow. It takes a process for you to become better for tomorrow. Be afraid only of standing still. Forget your mistakes, but remember what they taught you. Because, excuse my word, you will just become a stupid person if you keep repeating the same mistake. But if you have learned your mistake, then forget it, and will that become your lesson to become better. So how do you become better tomorrow? How? It's by becoming better today. It's by becoming better today. So these are the secret of your success that can be found in your daily agenda. Here's what we could suggest to keep growing and leading up. First is you have to learn your craft today. You have to learn your craft today. How do you learn your craft? How do you master your craft? Mastery is defined a comprehensive knowledge in a skill or subject. Comprehension is expressed by understanding all or nearly all elements or aspects of something. By these definitions, it is obvious that becoming a master takes a great deal of time, effort, and desire. Dr. Angela Duckworth, a social scientist and acclaimed author of Grit, discovered that after 15 years research with athletes, business people, and individuals from various fields, that there is an actual formula of achieving success. Here's the adapted version. Practice plus effort equals to skill. Skill plus effort is equals to achievement. Two kids show up at the gym and ask the coach to teach them how to shoot a basketball. The coach says, "I will be happy to help. I'm always looking for new players to develop." And this is the attitude of a leader. You always look for somebody that you could help so that you can share your knowledge and skills. So this is the coach done. The coach gives them each a ball and explain where they should place their fingers on the ball to maintain the control and direction. He shoots the ball himself, demonstrates how to put the ball through the hoop. The child A practices 1 hour and takes 100 shots, while child B practices for 4 hours and takes 1,000 shots. Child A practices once a week, while child B practices every day. Which child will develop a skill holding a ball correctly and put it through the hoop the fastest, the best technique? Obviously, the child B. Even if the child A is better in natural athlete, child B hustle and dedication will push him or her ahead faster. At a momentum, the child B is the way to becoming the best as he or she can be. Acquiring a skill executed with continued intensity results in high levels of achievement. This is according to Duckworth research. As you become proficient in one area, you then move to the next level of skill and repeat the process, like shooting, dribbling, rebounding to defense, to passing, etc. The reason some people attain greatness and others perform adequately is not because of God's given talent. Passion followed by dedication and tenacity is the differentiator. No matter how you were given talent by our Creator, if you are not going to enhance them, if you are not going to use them, then your talent will just be rusted. But if you keep enhancing your talent, if you keep practicing your talent, and that you will become at your best, you can master your craft. Master are made, not born. Passion alone is not enough. Passion is a wonderful thing. Applied passion is powerful thing. If you can dream it, you can be it. A saying goes, however defining it takes to realize your dream and committing to the necessary effort is critical. It is very common for a person or a group of people to be very passionate and conversation about a goal or never get out from their seats to do anything about it. Educating yourself on a topic to gain firm understanding on a subject is extremely important in preparation for its success. Gathering information from others is also very valuable. However, too much of this will result in creating the killer of all dreams or procrastinations. So even you talk your craft today, but you have to work for it. You just don't talk to others that this is your craft, but you always have to work for it. At some point, we should stop reading and talking about a subject and start doing. Vision without execution is just a hallucination. The toughest thing you will ever do is to begin. Learn your craft, talk your craft today, and practice your craft today. Begin your craft today. It's just because this is my craft, you are talking it, but you are not putting it into action. How can you master it? Why master never stop practicing? The key to continued success is establishing and maintaining momentum. It takes a great deal of energy to create it and a healthy degree of new activity to keep it. The fear of losing motivation that drives top performers to remain vigilant in the pursuit of the next level of opportunity. Mastery is the art of perfecting your craft in life and business. The only constant is change. You can depend on the fact that the current life situation is not permanent. Who among of us expect this pandemic? When this pandemic came to us, everything changes. There's nothing permanent. If you think you are better today, tomorrow you could not be better if you are not going to know how to adjust, if you are not going how to adapt change. At some point, the kids grow up. You move up in your job. Take on greater responsibilities. begin working out, get into fabulous shape, etc. The list of things that will not remain the same things in your life is limitless. The same true in your business life. That fantastic customer you built in your career around gets acquired. Or they move to a city or a greater tax incentives and access more great talent. Again, the scenarios are endless. When we become too comfortable with ourselves, mastery dwindles and our skills become stagnant. Intensity is the enemy of complacency. Mastery reaches new heights when we push ourselves during the moments of change. Complacency bears no reward in scheme of perfecting your skills. When you cease to nurture your momentum, the wheels come off the bus and it's challenging to start again. Lack of intensity not only dismantles progress towards personal greatness, but it is also inadvertently affects others. When you stop providing your best effort, you negatively impact your skills, your team, firm, and your family. Reaching mastery is undeniably a feat of conquering oneself. Self-doubt, lack of motivation, and obstacle can often get that way of that. Use these steps below. You have to use these steps that I'm going to mention to maintain your intensity throughout your mastery of your journey. These are 8. First one is to pick a skill wisely. Second is to commit your goal. Mastery is a long journey that never ends. After all, mastery is the process of become a lifelong learning. Those who do not commit or quit during plateaus and challenges are dabblers. Masters remain steadfast for the long haul. Number 3 is get going. Get going, get going. I remember, I just forget that movie, no, na sabi ng, I forgot yung, get going, get going. Get going. While most people desire to perfect their craft, many people lack in execution. Becoming a master requires repeated action and constant intensity. Don't get caught up in wishful thinking. Make a habit of practicing your skill and scheduling your time to do it. So, definitely if you want to master, you have to find your own time. Number 4 is find a coach. I have already mentioned this, no, that you have to find a coach. It is critical to have a great coach. That this should be someone who has been in your shoes and made it through. Ideally, a coach should inspire you to become successful. They can provide mentorship and navigation throughout your skill progression. Number 5 is to leverage support system. So a supportive parent, friend, co-workers, or a significant others that cares for you has your back and can be advantageous during your mastery journey. Stay focused with an intimate circle of people that you can pick up when you fail and keep you humble when you achieve your success. Number 6 is to focus your desire as you are practicing your craft today. You have to focus your desire. You must have a strong personal desire, backed up by a commitment put into work. You could not reach to your destination if you do not have your desire to reach your goal. So focus on your desire. Master the additional strength by realizing that people before you have been through this. I can do it too. If others I, why can't I? So I can do it. Number 7, get inspired. It is very important that you are inspired. Trials, tribulations of influence of people like Abraham Lincoln, Dr. King, and others are very inspiring. Use their stories of triumph over obstacles as your motivation. If that too is highbrow, pick up Jeff Olson. This is a fantastic, and you have to read the book so that you will be inspired. The Slight Edge that will inspire you. Practice and repeat. As the saying goes, practice makes perfect. You have learned your craft today. You have taught your craft today. Practice your craft today. Practice and repeat. Practice makes perfect. There is no such skill that you have just practiced once, twice, that you will be able to master it. But you have to be practicing, repeating, and that you can master your craft. The best way to learn is something to do it. Get obsessed with perfecting of your craft through the deliberate practice. Practice with much of intensity and commitment will make you difference in the next level of your skill. Execute these actions daily to build your momentum. Before you know it, the needle you move forward, your confidence will fuel your pursuit in reaching your mastery. How do I maintain teachable attitude? If you have your coach, if you have your coach, then you should have to maintain a teachable attitude. How? And this is what we are going to answer. How you maintain a teachable attitude? It's what you learn after you know it, that counts. It's what you learn after you know it, all that counts. This was a favorite quote by a coach Wooden's, President Harry S. Truman's, and the baseball coach Earl Rivers, who used this the title of his biography. A key character trait that you need to be a lifelong learning humility. It's also a critical character trait of a great leader. It's the humility. It's the humility that leads of being open-minded, in which the results of having great listener skills. Coach Wooden has a great listener. Even in part because of he knew every time that he listened, with an open mind, he would learn something. So you should have to be a great listener to learn new something. With regard to learning and leadership, Coach put this way: a leader who is through learning is through. And so is the team such a leader leads. Great leadership requires a strong will, humility, and open mind. A diverse but a powerful combination. Coach Wadden learned by listening, asking others to input and advice, being a voracious reader, constantly documenting his success, his failures, and re-evaluating his processes to see what he could improve, all done with humility and open mind. So it's all about what you learn. It's what you learn after you know it that all counts. Teachability truths. To make the most of your talent and remain teachable, you have to consider the following teaching. 1. Nothing is interesting if you are not interested. No one has ever achieved a goal by being interested in its achievement. One must be committed. We need to use the word you instead of I. It will help us on way to success. We should try to be interested rather than interesting, because people always attracted towards those who show affection and interest in them. People need interested person, not interesting person. What shall you do to make your people like you? How can you be interested? What shall you do? First, become genuinely interested with others. Not fake. Genuinely interested with others. Second, you have to learn how to smile. According to Mother Teresa, smile is the universal language of kindness. So, when you smile, you help your people to welcome at you. And if you know how to welcome others, how to welcome the people, that will make they will become interested. Remember people's name. So in your office, you do not just call the person, hey, Mr. Hey, come here. You have to call your people by their name. Even your students. So that your students become more interested. You have to call them by their names. And the sweetest word that a person can hear is to hear their names when they are called. Number 4 is to listen attentively. Encourage others to talk about themselves. 5. Talk in terms of their interest. When we are teaching, It is important for us that we should know what are the interests of our students. Why? So that they will be interested in your lesson. If you are talking not relevant to your students, to the needs of your society, then they will not listen at you. Never. They will not be interested at you. Number 6 is make others feel important. Do it sincerely. Okay? So make others important. Everyone is counted. They are all, you have to value them. They are all valuable. It's not because you just value them because you need them. No. Make them important. Make them valuable in your organization, and that they will become interested. Better to be interested than to try to be interesting. It was very interesting and learning experience in the future. I will be interested in the people because when you take interest in others, also take interest in you. If you want to be successful person, then you have to be interested in people, and you need to show love, attachment, warmth for others. People always attracted towards those who show affection and interest in them. You will make more friends by becoming interested in others than by trying to get others interested in you. Successful people view learning differently from those who are unsuccessful. Habits of unsuccessful people versus successful people. We all have that friend who is forever complaining and never seems to get anything done properly. Have you noticed that in your office or in your school, in our respective school, that this person who keeps complaining are these people who keep complaining are the people who never do anything. We probably have another friend too, one full of vitality and magically able to accomplish so much in every little time. What habits differentiate this contrasting characteristics? They're contrasting characters. What do unsuccessful people do? Number 1. These are the number 1 people who disapprove change. The hallmark of unsuccessful people is that they reject any sort of change. Ano ba yan? Ayan na naman. Bago na naman. Ano ba yan? Bago na naman. Right? These are usually the reaction of these people who are unsuccessful, who reject when there are changes in the organization. They immediately disapprove change. They are forever looking for ways in which things can go wrong. In the process, they pass up opportunities to make their lives better. They do not entertain in the idea of a little change that may improve their current situation. These are the judge people responses. Unsuccessful people are constantly trying to undermine others. Although they ask for other people's opinions, they are judging those answers or rankings them. This does not help achieve a useful outcome because in time, people will stop giving honest opinions as they are not valued. Instead of respecting other person's opinion, unsuccessful people will dismiss them. Another characteristic of unsuccessful people, they refuse to apologize. Nung pakialam ko, bakit ako magsasorry? Right? Because they think they know everything. They think that they are doing well. They think that everything that they do is correct. Another commonly seen characteristic of successful people is inability to refuse apologize. Saying sorry may seem like failure or loss to them. They may they view life as a competition wherein they need to get ahead of others by whatever means possible. They are poor losers who take defeat very badly. Their pride comes in the way they're living a normal and happy life. Number four characteristic of unsuccessful people. These are the people avoid gratitude. Saying thank you is seen similar of vain saying sorry to unsuccessful people. Showing gratitude is considerably to be a weakness. They feel that the world owes them something, that they deserve anything that they get. Bakit ako magti-thank you karapatan ko to, di ba? Bakit ako magti-thank you sa kanya trabaho niya yan So these are usually the reactions of people who refuse to avoid gratitude. Diba? You have done something good to these people, then they will not say even thank you because it's their right to have this thing. It's your duty to do it for them. So they avoid the gratitude. Number 5, unsuccessful people definitely have a negative attitude. Unsuccessful people are very good at finding faults in everything. In short, these are the fault finders. They could not say anything good in you. You could say that their favorite pastimes is criticizing. In every opportunity, unsuccessful people will find problems. They fail to think of solutions, but tend to magnify every problem. Unsuccessful people are devastated with their failures and look ways to blame in others something else. They do not accept failures and they are going to blame it to others. They do not want to accept responsibilities that they have made wrong, that they have made mistakes. Instead, they will find others for them to be blamed. They do not look up. They do not look upon their mistakes as their chance to learn. Instead, they easily disheartened and tend to give up soon. So these are a few characteristics of unsuccessful people. These skills that you need to guide in the development, how you become successful. Learn how to set yourself effective personal goals and 5 motivations that you need to achieve. This is the essence of personal development, a set of skills designed to help you to reach your full potential at work and in your personal life. So how about the successful people? What are their characteristics? Because there is a great difference between unsuccessful people when it comes to learning and successful people. For the successful people, they will always try to improve. Successful people push themselves outside their comfort zone. What did I tell you a while ago? You get up from your comfort zone. Do not be complacent on what you have today or what you have in your success, but try to go to the next level. They are the comfortable taking risks, even view their failures with positive frame in mind. They want to explore opportunities to grow and advance their career. So now you can determine in your office, no, in your school, who are these people who are successful people, and who are these unsuccessful people, and how they react things. Second is possess a strong sense of self-awareness. They are confident and have faith in their ability to face life squarely in the eye. However, they are not self-oriented, do not work within only personal goals in mind. They work not just for themselves but for the benefit of others. Possess sense of ownership. Taking responsibility. This is the opposite of the unsuccessful people that blame others when they commit mistake. But for a successful person or successful people, they take their sense of ownership. They take the responsibility and accountability for actions that come natural to successful people. They do not try to cover up their mistakes. Instead, they learn from their mistakes. They learn from their own failings. The successful people will not make the same mistake twice, because they have learned already. And successful people are the bright people, because if you keep repeating the same mistake and you are not learning it, you are just a stupid person. So do not repeat the same mistake, because you already have learned. So you just have the mistake once but not twice. Number 4, for characteristics of successful people. Number 4, oriented towards goals. To keep themselves motivated, successful people set targets and goals for themselves. Both long-term and short-term goals are effective in setting the pace of their work. Successful people set realistic goals and are clear about where they want to go to the next level. Number 5, they value time. Time is indeed a very important for successful people. They treat time like a precious commodity and use it as effectively as they can. They do not put off things for tomorrow, what they can do for today. The distinctions between unsuccessful people and successful people is quite clearly marked. Mere observation can lead you to correct the conclusion about person's status. And here's more that I would like you to know: the habits of unsuccessful people. Unsuccessful people. Let's watch. Habits of unsuccessful people. Okay? Aside from what I have mentioned. First, act before they think. Act before they think. For us, smart people, sabi natin, no? Think before you act. In an etiquette, think before you click. Think they know at all. Unsuccessful people are thinking that everything they know. They know everything. Talk more than they listen. Because they do not like to listen. Because they pretend that they know everything. That's why they don't like to listen. Hoard information and data. These data are just mine. I'm not going to share it. I will be on the top if I'm going to keep it. That will make me different from others if I'm not going to share this data. You see? Fear change. That's why when there is a change, they automatically disapprove change because they fear. Give up easily. They give up easily. For a successful person, they take risks, they try until they become successful. Not until they die, no? Try until they become successful. And this could not be done by unsuccessful people because they could easily give up. Waste their time. Waste their time. They do not use their time wisely because they are unproductive. So they waste their time. Criticize. They are good in criticizing. They are watching everything what a person or what people can do mistake. They are fault finder. Never set goals. Opposite from successful people that they set goals, they set their targets. They take easy way out. They don't like, they want the magic, they want instant. Diba? Get distracted every day. They secretly hope others fail. Sana magkamali siya, no? That's how they react things, no? Don't know what they want to be because they do not have their direction. Talk more than they listen. Blame others because they don't want to take the responsibility. Then hold a grudge. These are the people that when they are hurt, manda ka. Okay? Always angry on others. Diba? Isipin nyo ngayon kung who are these people in your office, in your colleagues, no, na parang galit sila sa mundo. Right? Have a sense of entitlement. Supervisor ako. Teacher ka lang. No? They always look at in their position. Think, say, and do negative things. Yan. Try to bring down other people onto their level. Hindi ka pwedeng mas mataas sa akin, dapat ako mas mataas sa iyo, no? So, what an attitude. Stop learning. So, stop learning. You don't learn to new things. That's why they grow. That's why they become stagnant in their position. Okay? So, these are the habits of unsuccessful people. I hope none of our participants here have this kind of attitude, because the reason why you are here, because you want to become successful, because you look for a better tomorrow. And these are the characteristics that we should have to possess. These are the habits of successful people. Track your progress. Where are you now? Learn from mistakes. You spend time with the right people. Don't spend time with people who have negative attitudes. You spend time with people who can help you to grow up, who can help you to grow, to develop your your career. Diba? Maintain proper balance in life. Syempre, how can you become a leader if you are not going to balance yourself? If you will not become healthy? Healthy mind, healthy heart, healthy body. Right? Write down your goals and targets. Sabi nga natin kanina, you have to write what are your goals, what we would like to become. Then, think of a long-term, compliment others, do the list, you know your purpose, you know your mission in life, want others to succeed. It's not just you, but you have to let your others also, others in your organizations grow. Then accept responsibility for the future, for their failure. So if you think you have done wrong, then admit it. Make that lesson. Learn from your mistake. Have a burning desire. So you should have a burning desire. Work with passion and commitment. Learn, improve, read every day. Take risks. Handle problem well. Be humble. Be humble. This is one of the characteristics of a person who wants to become teachable. Share information and data you do not have to hoard. Then exude joy. Forgive others. No grudges at all, because you could not move, you could not work freely, you could not work happily if you hold grudges in your heart. Then talk about ideas, not talk about others. Average people talk about others, while smart people, they talk ideas. Then embrace change. Okay? Now, learning is meant to be a lifelong pursuit. Why learning should be a lifelong pursuit? It has become a popular notion that lifelong learning is important for personal development, but it's also vital vital component of sustainable business. What is our business and life? Our career. How we manage our organization, how we deal with our students, with our children, with our society, with our community. As things change in the economy, in political life, and with technology, so too must a business person change and develop. It is therefore accepted that continuous learning is a great source of personal satisfaction and can additionally yield ongoing results for your business. A personal and lifelong and professional must lifelong learning. Learning keeps mind agile in an age-old adage. Being an absolute beginner as you learn something new is actually good for your personal development, as well as keeping the mind agile, improving your personal happiness. Continuous improvement or learning is critical for business to keep up with and better their competitors. Your business must embrace ideas and constant change and be prepared for it. Whether you are one personal, a social enterprise, or anything, or anybody, or any position that you have, you must have to pursue a lifelong learning. You should not have to stop. You should have to keep learning. So, the reason why you are here, the reason why you have pursued your studies in masteral, in doctoral, you're attending trainings, because you are pursuing your lifelong learning. So, learning is meant to be a lifelong pursuit. You just stop learning when a person dies. Next, number 4, pride is the number 1 hindrance to teachability. So these are the people who does not want to learn. These are the people who takes pride. At a one time or another, we're all faced with this temptation. We want everyone around us to think that we have it all together. We know everything. If you truly seek growth and change, pride is the biggest obstacle, or it's the greatest obstacle. Humility is the only way to receive the life that God has for us, that life has to offer. God is about exchanging something that we hold on into something better. To recognize what needs to grow, need us to become teachable. We can't be teachable without being humble. So, we have to be humble. You have to practice humility. Humility is a virtue that is commanded many times in the Bible. So, humility. If truly recognized outstanding before God and glorious riches of His inheritance, we always trust Him and allow Him to exalt us, and rather to strive to exalt ourselves. So humility is a command that we have to obey when we are willing to do the 3 things. First is to understand about individual journey. Second is to find commonalities we share. Number 3 is to open and vulnerable enough to share our experiences. Being teachable and humble goes against our nature. God only possesses pride, but He also gives us the grace of overcome pride of natures to become humble like Jesus. Even Jesus, right? So what we are going to do is to reflect. How do we react some points to our personal flow? Are we willing to share your weakness and failures to help someone else? Why or why not? Does understanding that Jesus was also humble and teachable make it easier for you to do the same? So who are we not to become teachable? So if you want to progress your life, if you want to become successful, you have to be teachable. You have to be humble. Even you're already in the higher ups, then you should have to know how to listen to your subordinates. You should have to know to listen who are in the grassroots level. And that you will learn. And that you will grow. How to take talent to the next level? If you want to expand your talent, you must become teachable. That this is the pathway to growth. The futurist and author John Naisbitt believes that the most important skill to acquire in learning is how to learn. The most important skill to acquire learning is learning how to learn. Here's what's being suggested you to pursue Teachable and become a Talent Plus person. First is to listen, to learn how to listen. And this is one of the this is one of the weaknesses of the unsuccessful people, because they do not listen. For if you want to become successful person, then learn to listen. The first step in teachability in learning to listen, the American writer and philosopher David Thoreau wrote, "It takes two to speak the truth, one to speak and one to hear, or one to listen." Be a good listener. Help us to know people better, to learn what they have learned, and to show them that they value them as individuals. As you go through each day, remember that you can learn if you're always taking. The old saying goes, there's the reason you have one mouth and two ears. Listen to others, remain humble, and you will begin to learn things every day that can help you to expand your talent. So, learn to listen. The reason why we only have one mouth and we have two ears. So we have to learn how to listen and expand our talents. Understand the learning process. Number 1, act. Second step is to look for your mistake and evaluate. Third step is search for a way to do it better. And the last step, number 4, is go back to the first step. So it will just be a cycle. You have to act, look for your mistake and evaluate, and you have to learn from your mistake, and then search for a better, and then go back again to the next step, to the first step. So this is the understanding the learning process. So look for and plan teachable moments. Look for and plan teachable moments. How to create teachable moments? Teachable moments come up all the time. As a teacher, you have to pay attention and be ready for them. Like teachers, an example, you have to be willing to engage with your students, with your colleagues, and you have to ask questions, open mindset and an open mind, have an open mind and honest dialogues with them. Taking time to explain why behind the answers to your students, to your colleagues, is often the best way to create a teachable moment. You can create teachable moment by asking your students or colleagues to talk about what you have read, what you have learned. You can have your students listen to music, what you talk about the lyrics, the photograph, and talk about what they have noticed in the picture. If you ever come a point where their students ask the question and you do not know the answer, all you have to do is to, let us look at the answer together. So it's look for a plan for the teachable moments. So it's always an opportunity for you to look for a teachable moments. Number 4, on how to get talent to the next level is to make your teachable moment counts. In teaching, every moment counts. The hyper-one student characteristic likes grit, passion, emotional, intelligence, or self-esteem may like believe that the traits of the students bring into the classroom are decisive for learning result this student will achieve. But it's really true that rather stable student characteristic define learning outcome of a student. If that was true, to what extent of the teacher's instruction make a difference for the motivation and learning of a student? In the past years, public interest in changeable, improved aspects of motivation has increased immensely. Take, for example, the research of student engagement, which was attracted increasing public interest funding over the past years. This interest is a large part due to the fact of the student engagement emphasizes the aspects of student motivation that may fluctuate and can be potentially influenced by teachers. How can teachers influence the momentary emotions and motivations in their classroom? Or how can a leader influence the momentary emotions and motivations in our office, in school? A first step is to get in the moment feedback of our students, of our colleagues' emotions and motivations. For an easy part, the teachers can use our instant polling tool, Polls Everywhere, to ask students about the current emotions and motivation. Students can reply via internet, browsers, or text messages and answers that can be viewed, even displayed in the audience real time. If you ask the students how they feel, even the teachers, no, when we have our meetings, it is very important that you ask the teachers' feelings, the teachers' emotions, how do they feel, how they have celebrated their vacations. So from there, they can express and make that a teachable moment counts. So every moment for teachers counts, and that we can start teaching. Make your teachable moment counts. Number 5 on how your talent go to the next level is ask yourself, am I really teachable? Am I really teachable? All good advice in the world won't help you if you don't have teachable spirit. No matter how your coach would like to develop you, no matter how your leaders would like to help you, but how teachable are you? How willing are you to learn new things? So you must have a teachable spirit to know whether you are really open to new ideas, new things of doing things. You have to answer the following questions. Am I open? If you answered no to one or more of these questions, then you have no room to grow in the area of teachability. You need to soften your attitude and learn humility, which I have mentioned a while ago. There is nothing wrong if you are going to learn with your subordinates, with the teachers in the grassroots levels. There is nothing wrong about it. How teachable are you? You can only be teachable if you grow your humility, if you have a positive attitude. And remember these words by John Whedon: everything we know, we learn from someone else. You are not learning if you are just listening of your own self. You have to listen from someone else. You have to listen from the experts. And when you listen, it's not just enough that you have to listen. You have to put it into action. So, we have these questions. I just have mentioned, no, the number one question. Do I listen more than I talk? If you listen more than you talk, then you will be learning. But if you talk more rather than listening, then you will not learn. Because what you are talking is just what you have known. But if you listen, you can absorb more knowledge. Am I open to changing my opinions based on the new information? Do I really admit when I am wrong? How often do you admit when you are wrong? Do I observe before acting a situation? Or you act first before you observe? Do I ask questions? Isn't it that I have mentioned a while ago that if you want to grow, you keep asking questions? Am I willing to ask questions that will expose my ignorance? Am I willing to ask questions that will expose my ignorance? Of course, when you ask, there are some people, even in the training, they already know the answer, but they still ask because they just like to outsmart the speaker. Or they just like to outsmart everybody in the room. But when you will be honest to yourself, you ask because you do not know, or you just let it pass. You did not understand, but you did not ask. You just let it pass because you don't want yourself to be known that you are ignorant in this matter. So, how willing are you to ask, to expose your ignorance when you ask question? Sabi ko nga kanina, no? Mabuti pa maging tanga ka sa 1 minuto, wag lang sa habang buhay. Or if you just simply pass it on without asking that question, lumipas ng isang gabi, lumipas ng isang araw that you did not know it. Diba? So, how willing are you? Am I open to doing things in a new way? Or you just want to do your own way, your old ways? And do not want to replace the new ways. So how open are you to do things in new ways? Am I willing to ask for direction? Or you just want your own direction? Do I act defensive when criticized? Or do I listen openly for the truth? How do you react when you are being criticized by others? Do you get mad? Or do you appreciate it? How do you accept criticism? So, what do you think could be the attitude of a person who is successful? What do you think could be the attitude of a person who wants to grow when he is or she is being criticized? So, nasa inyo na po yun. If you want to grow, then accept the criticism and make it positive and make it constructive and make yourself improve. So, make it as an opportunity when you are being criticized. Make it a room for you to improve. So, according to Thomas Edison, who was a guest in the governor of North Carolina, when the politicians completed him or created, I am not a great inventor, countered Edison. But you have more than 1,000 patents of your credit, the governor stated. Yes, but only invention I can really claim as absolutely original in the phonograph, replied by Edison. I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean, the governor remarked. Well, explained Edison, I guess I am an awfully good sponge. I absorb ideas. Take note of this. According to Edison, I guess I am awfully a good sponge. I absorb ideas in every course I can, put them into practical use. So whatever you have learned, you have to absorb it. And when you are able to process it, then put it into action. Then I improve them until I become of some value. The ideas which I use importantly are the people who don't develop them themselves. So this is a remarkable description of someone who is teachable to expand his talents. That is what the talent plus person does what all about to try. So what are you waiting for? Make yourself be teachable. And how teachable you are. So, if you think one of these questions you answer no, then you are not teachable. But if you think yes all, then you are teachable. And if there is one, then we try to shift to become teachable so we will grow. So we will improve our talent. Then part 4. What role do others play in my growth? What role do others play in my growth? So what kind of attitude do you have to learn others? So we are going to answer this. What kind of attitude do you have when it comes learning from others? All people fall into categories described by the following statements. I think sometimes we assume that ignorance is the greatest enemy of teachability. However, that really has a little to do with teachability. Haven't you known that some highly educated and highly successful person who don't want to hear suggestions or opinions of anyone else? Well, there are so many people like that. Some people think they know it all. A person who creates large of successful organizations may think he can't learn from people who run a smaller one. Don't undermine people. A person who creates a large successful organization may think he can learn people who run smaller one. A person who receives a doctorate can become unreceptive of the instruction from anyone else because he considers himself as an expert. Another person who is the most experienced in the company department may not listen to ideas of someone else younger. Some people don't realize how much they are hurting themselves. The reality is that no one is too old, too smart, or too successful to learn new things. The only thing that we can become between the person is the ability to learn to improve is a bad attitude. So we can learn things. So this is the attitude of arrogant. No one can teach me anything. An arrogant attitude. And there are several people who are doing this. And these are the people who could never learn. Who will be stagnant in their career because they do not want to accept new things. They do not know how to listen to the other people. They think they know everything. So, the next one is someone can teach me everything. This is the naive attitude. Naive is having or showing unaffected simplicity or nature or the absence of artificiality. Unsophisticated, ingenuous, showing lack of experience, judgment, or information credulous. People who realize that they have the room to grow often seek mentor. That they usually a good thing. However, it's naive for individuals to think that they can learn everything they need to know from just one person. People don't need a mentor, they just need many mentors. You don't just need a single person to mentor you. You need so many mentors so that you can encounter, because each person has its own ability, has its own skills, so that you can taste other talents, other skills from the other people that will serve you a mentor. I cannot be here where am I today without learning from so many people. We need so many mentors. I myself have several mentors, and I owe them where am I today. And this is you have to learn how to be thankful, and this is gratitude. Everyone can teach me something. Everyone can teach me something, and this is a teachable attitude. The people who learn the most are necessarily the ones who spend time with the smartest people. They are the ones with teachable attitude. You look for people, you look for a company where you can learn, where they can help you to develop. They are the ones with teachable attitudes, with person who has something to share. To share a lesson learned, an observation, a life experience. We just need to be willing to listen. In fact, often people teach us things that they do not intend to do so. We just simply listen. Ask any parent, you will find out that they have learned things from their children. Even when their kids were infants, incapable of communicate a single word. The only time people can teach us things when they are unwilling to learn. I'm not saying that every person you meet will teach you something. All I am saying is that people have the potential to do so if you will let them. So, have a teachable attitude. Everyone can teach me something. Even the utility, even young children, you have so many lessons to learn if you are just going to observe them, if you will just allow them to teach. It's not because that you are already a PhD graduate, or it's not because that you are already in the highest position that you could not already learn from the younger ones. You always listen to the experts, to the person who is higher than you. So, for you to grow, you should have an attitude, a teachable attitude. Consider that everyone can teach you something. How to learn from others? If you have the teachable attitude, you are willing to adopt one. You will be positioned well to learn from others. Then you will need to take something the following 5 steps. Number 1 is make learning your passion. Success make learning your passion. All of us were born passionate learners. We came into this world curious about everything around us. We had a strong desire. We want to talk, crawl, and walk. Watch a toddler take their first step and see passion-based learning. Listen to a musician practice a difficult piece until they are ready to perform. Watch a skateboarder try to have a new trick over and over, and takes persistence and passion not to give up. You don't always see them the same type of passion in school. In many cases, school has been associated with pacing guides, required curriculum, grade level standards, bell schedules, grades, teaching, or teaching to the test. In these situations, the teacher or the administrators are the ones in control. The teacher tends to become the one held accountable for learning. Yet, to really learn something, the learner needs to own and drive their learning. The focus on teaching and doing work that wasn't relevant to me changed in by thinking about who was as a learner. I learned a play game on out of school, do school, so we get through the school. Why do we have to change school focus on passion-based learning? School changes that kids believe that they are focused to learn. So you have to develop your learners to have the passion, to become passion, to have the passion in learning. So these are the few suggestions in how to develop passion-based learning in your school. First few days of school, get to know your learners before you start teaching. You have to get to know each other so that you know how you can feel the needs of your learners. Get to know your learners and their interest. Because if it is not with them, if you will be teaching within their interest, then they will not listen at you. Just like when you are also in an organization, you should know your people. You should know how to listen. You should be sensitive so that you know what are their interests. And before you can ask them to do, then you have to give them first. You have to feel their needs, their interests. What are their interests? Share interest. Not just you are going to keep it. You have to share. Ask your learners to do pair or share. To ask with each other to do. What are the 3 things that you're really interested in? Even in the trainings during the face-to-face, we ask before you conduct the training, you are going to do a preliminary activity. Then you pair the participants. You ask them what are the 3 things that you are really interested. This is getting to know each other so that everyone will explore in their interest. And number 4 is make them explore their interest. 5, identify the real world problem. And number 6, plan learning. So this is how you and the last one is making learning meaningful. And this you can make your learners become passionate in learning. And even your members, your colleagues, and you can make also them how to become passionate in learning. So, the next is your people need more salary in fulfilling your work and their best. They need you to know, to see the value in them and individuals and the work deliver. So here are some 9 ways to show them that you care. To show them that you care. Okay? Getting to know, be interested. Provide a regular constructive criticism or provide regular constructive feedback. Invest in them. Know that they need to succeed and give them the time and resources they need to do it. Understand the learning opportunity. Provide your talent with the talent development team. Encourage your people to go. Then, and if the learning program they need in order to be able to deliver the great value, so doesn't exist inside your company, be willing to fund external training. Prepare them to lose them. Prepare to lose them. So, although it's hard to get new people up to speed up, no leader wants to lose her best people. Preparing your employees to be successful in their career is essential. No matter how you would like your people to stay in you, but if they are going to, if you think that they will be growing in some other division, in some other work, then you have to let them go. You do not have, you don't have to keep them. You let them soar high. You have to support them to find their own ways how they will become successful in their career. So you make yourself prepare how to lose them. You don't need to keep them. You will just be selfish if you will just keep your colleagues, your people in your office because you want them, because they are the best. But if you think you can help them to grow and go out where they can grow their career, then let them. And you will become a good leader, because a good leader, you create another leader. So set a clear and measurable expectation. For people to succeed, they need a clear understanding of what they need to do and how success will be measured. And in dynamic world of work, that means providing regular updates, an annual conversation about performance and planning once a feast. Next is make time for them. You are busy. Maybe you manage a very large group that makes them hard for you to devote your time to each individual. Yet it's essential for them to know that you have their back. If you think your group team meetings are enough, you are missing out a building deep relationship with your people. Take time to meet them individually as often as possible. Be fully attentive when you do so, because as a leader, you should always be visible with your team. You should always be there no matter how busy you are. Number 7, acknowledge them publicly. Sure, you likely praise your people. To deliver the greater value, acknowledge them in the meetings, in front of the peers, in front of the senior leaders that they are looking to impress. This shows your true commitment, not just your employees, but other important constituencies. Say the tough things. This is number 8. The item above makes sense, that can be fun, but the flip side, delivering the reality tough information, can be challenge. Nonetheless, it's one of the most valuable things that can do for your people. You need to tell them when they have a behavior that will limit their career advancement, or the consequences that they will don't resolve the major issues that include their EQ or even their grooming. So you don't have to sugarcoat. Tell them directly. And this is for the improvement of your organization. Number 9, give them an opportunity to use their superpowers. We all love doing the things that we are great at. And sometimes, the nature of our business doesn't take advantage of that. Yet when we are doing things which we can excel, we are delivering the exceptional value while feeling fulfilled. To help your people use their superpowers, you need to help them unearth them. And then you need to help them find situations and projects which they can leverage their strength. Give them time to shine. And they are going to appreciate it. So this is how you value your people. Be interested, provide regular constructive feedback, invest them, prepare them to lose, set clear measurable expectations, acknowledge them publicly, say the tough stuff, give them an opportunity to use their superpowers. And as a leader, you always have to add value to your people. And I'm sure you will be loved by your people. Number 3 is to develop the relationship with a growth potential. So, fully accept the other person, be who you are. For the benefit of all, we have these following key steps. Keep the relationship top priority. Some executives consistently tell me they are too busy to find and nurture the relationship they need to move their business to the next level. Others go their ego convince them that they have all the answers and no one can help them. I believe that collaboration is the lifeblood of every business. You cannot do it alone, so you need others to collaborate. You need others' strength to complement with your weakness. For example, people think Mark Zuckerberg built the Facebook with all by himself. In fact, we had 4 development founders built in the relationship. Peter Thiel, the top VC who invested early, enticed Sheryl Sandberg, filled the COO role Hubbard needed. The use of reward curiosity as the basis for relationship. Use the reward curiosity. Nurture relationship and connections with the people with the realm or who exhibit curiosity and passion for learning. These are the win-win arrangement, leading to continuous innovation, early access to the new markets, in higher returns. Connections across the business domains are even better. Bill Gates, for example, shared a common curiosity and mentoring relationship with Warren Buffett. Although their business domains were quite different, Oprah Winfrey had helped her career by her relationship with the famous Barbara Walters. Number 3 is to build connection with key customers and competitors. With the pervasive internet and global social network, it's easy to be visible and connect your customers, and they expect it. How about you? How do you connect with your stakeholders? How do you connect with with your clients? We use this internet. It's so easy now, so there is no reason for us to say that we could hardly connect our stakeholders, our clienteles. Smart business leaders look forward to talking with their competitors, not to steal ideas, but learn more about industry and potential win-win opportunities. Even though Steve Jobs and Bill Gates were bitter rivals, they knew each other very well and both realized the value of their software running across the multiple platforms and benefited from joint efforts to standardize the key protocols and interface elements. Contribute time and skill to a non-business higher purpose. Identify the higher purpose, such as social or environment and environmental issue that embodies your passion and could benefit from your strength. In that context, you will likely build relationship with other leaders who could be instrumental in adding long-term value into your business. Again, back to the case of Bill Gates, IBM CEO John Opel had already built connections to Gates' mother while they were both serving on the board United Way. That their relationship facilitated the contract propelled of the Microsoft business into success. For number 5, how you build relationship with the growth potential is to expedite the growth with a strategic partnership connection. Very few businesses can grow organically fast enough to stay ahead of competition. Business leaders with wide relationship are able to more quickly find close alliances to fill gaps of their products line, increase distribution, and reduce costs through common components. Some leaders have to initiate the alliance or partnership connection to nurse or to fruition. If you are too busy or comfortable within the inside company activities, you're likely to miss the potential, like Nike and Amazon relationship or similar win-win deal. Overall, the experience tells that the good idea is necessary, but not sufficient to foster the sustainable and long-term successful business. So only the right people with the right focus on business, the ability to build relationship is not the birthright. It can be learned, honed with effort. Where there is effort on your priority list. So this is for the develop relationship with growth potential. How to identify your strength? So discovering your excel, you have to identify people's uniqueness and strength. So number 1, we have the zest, grit, self-control, social intelligence, gratitude, and love. So zest, approaching life with excitement and energy. Grit, we are completing something despite of obstacle, combinations to persistence and resilience. Then we have the self-control. Self-control is the self-discipline regulating what one feels and does. For social intelligence, we are talking of awareness of motives and feelings of other people and oneself. Gratitude is to awareness of feeling thankful and good things that happen. So, love, value, close relationship with others, and then some others may also have the strengths of hope, expecting the best in the future for work. Some others may have also strengths in humor, which is enjoying people, making laugh, smile, not taking life too seriously, because if you too serious with your life, you will not go young because you will die young. I am just kidding. Okay, so number 9 is you have to number 9 uniqueness of a person is you have the creativity. Others may have a social intelligence, but they do not have the creativity. So we could not perfect it all. So creativity is the self-expressions, discovering new things to think about and do things. The number 10, others may have the uniqueness in their curiosity, taking interest in learning and trying new experiences. Number 11, we have the open-mindedness, looking at the world at different angles without jumping to conclusion. And number 12, we have love of learning. So mastering new skills and topic. Number 13, that could have for our the people in the organization, some others could have wisdom Wisdom, learning from experience and having good judgment. 14, we have bravery, facing obstacles despite of fear, speaking of your truth. And last one, the highest value that I consider in an organization is having an integrity, consistently speaking the truth, presenting oneself. So this is you have to identify the uniqueness and the strengths of your people. Next is ask questions. I have already discussed this one, how often you ask questions. So the more you ask questions, the more you learn. And number 5 is choose a mentor to help you grow. Choose a mentor to help you grow, to make you to be trained, make you motivated. Advice will give you to make you successful, provide you direction, provide to coach you, support you, and direct your goal. So you have to choose your mentor so to help you grow. Does my model life deserve the following? So these questions relate the quality of a character. It answers if the answer is not clear, yes, you have to be very careful. You'll become like people you will become the people or the person that you follow. Don't want models with flawed character. And what are the different characteristics that you have to choose for your model? So passion, the top 5 qualities of the role models: passion and ability to inspire, which is the role models, the clear set of values, have a clear set of values, ability to overcome obstacles, selfishness and acceptance of others, and commitment to community. So these are the top 5 qualities that the role model should have. Does my model's life have the following? So this question asks at the credibility. How credible is your model? So you have to look at the model that you are looking for, because as I have said, you will become of what you are. You will become of what the person that you would like to be. Then what is the main strength of influence of others to follow the model? So what's the model? What does a model have to offer me? What is his best? Also more that strong leaders have weaknesses as well as strength. I don't want to be inadvertently emulate the weaknesses. Does my model produce another leaders? So you have to ask that. Answer this question will tell you whether your model leadership priorities match mine in the regard of developing new leaders. Is my model strength reproducible in my life? If you can't reproduce in his strength in his life, his modeling will not nor benefit you. For instance, if you admire Shaquille O'Neal's ability in the basketball center, but you only have 5 feet or 9 inches tall, weigh of 170 pounds, you are not going to be able to reproduce his strength. Find the appropriate models, but strive for improvement. Don't be able quick to say the strength is not reproducible. Most are. Do not limit your potential. If my model's strength is reproducible in my life, what steps must I take to develop and demonstrate that strength? You must develop a plan of action. If you only answer the questions and never implement a plan to develop those strengths in yourself, you are only performing an intellectual exercise. So it's just in your mind and you didn't put it into action. The models we choose may or may not be accessible to us in personal way. Some may be figures such as the president, or they may be people from history. They can certainly benefit you, but not the way the personal mentor can be. So these are the guidelines for mentoring relationship. When you find someone who can personally mentor when you use these guidelines to help develop your positive mentoring relationship for that person. So what will be you have to clarify your level of expectations. So your level of expectations could be candid discussion, participation in all levels, and just we have the real discussions, the commitment to growth. So these are the following. You have to clarify your level of expectations. Generally, the goal of mentoring is improvement, not perfection, because nobody is perfect. Perhaps only few people can be truly excellent, but all of us can become better. So make them clear for yourself. It is impossible to build mutually clear expectations with others if you haven't defined your expectations. If you can articulate them verbally or on a paper, you are not ready to share with them with your employees. You'll know when it doesn't clear your expectation. Second, decide where you need to set your expectations. So think about the gaps that exist in your team. Is it the work output less than ideal? Do you communicate effectively? What are the expectations imposed in your organizational culture? Figure out where you're falling short and define exactly what needs to change. Number 3 is to understand why. Providing others with the context and justification for expectation will increase employees' accountability for meeting those expectations. Help people understand the bigger picture and you will gain their support. Number 4 is meet with employees to discuss the new standards. So set their own employees, their individual or group, even the circumstances to discuss their expectation. Remember, completing the 3 steps is critical before you meet your employees. If you fail to follow the process, you likely won't be able to express your expectation clearly and thoroughly. So it is very important that you have to set your expectations so that they know their target. Then write your expectations down. We aren't talking legal documents here. However, when you write down your goals and expectation, you gain more clarity and document to your plan of action. That way, there will be no confusion later about the terms which you and your employees agreed. Number 6 is gain agreement commitment. Once you have documented your expectation, both you and your employees should read to ensure that you are the same page. Commit the new expectations. We recommend that you and your employees sign off the document should need to revisit this issue later. This is very important because that will remind every now and then with you and your employees that you have agreed something. So the next one is you have to accept your subordinate learning position. Don't let your ego get the way out of learning. Trying to impress the mentor with your knowledge or the ability to set up the mental barrier between you. It will prevent you from receiving what he is giving. Be humble and be patient. Respect the mentor, but don't idolize him. Respect allows accept what a mentor is teaching, but making the mentor an idol removes the ability to be objective and critical faculties that we need for adapting mentors' knowledge and experiencing ourselves They learn from mentors' weaknesses as well as our strength. Immediately put effect what you are learning. In the best mentoring relationship, what is learned comes quickly into focus. As soon as you learn something new, put it into practice and reach it to someone else. You will assimilate it too quickly if you do. Next one is be disciplined in relating to the mentor. Arrange an ample and consistent time. Select the subject matter in advance and you do your homework to make your sessions profitable. Next is reward your mentor with your progress. If you show appreciate but make no progress, the mentor experience failure. Your progress is the highest reward. Strive for growth, then communicate your progress. Next is don't threaten to give up. Let your mentor know that you have made a decision for progress, that you are persistent and determined winner. Then you will know that he is not wasting his time. There is no substitute for your own personal growth. If you are not receiving and growing, you will not be able to give the people you nurture and develop. And to end my presentation, let me leave you this quote from Jack Ma. Never give up. Today is hard. Tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. Do something today for a better tomorrow. God bless everyone. Stay healthy and safety. Daghan salamat sa mga taga Cebu. Damo nga salamat sa mga Waraynon. Dakala salamat sa mga Kapampangan. Agyamak ti na imbag sa mga Ilocano. Gracias sa mga Chabacano. Afwan sa mga kapatid natin na Muslim. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Once again, I'm Dr. Josephine G. Figueroa. God bless.